So I will ask about the call, bind, and apply at the end of the class. I will complete some other stuff which I want to show you, and then I will ask about call, bind, and apply. So we have seen two methods of creating the object. One of the method is I can say object equal to this as a literal object, and I can use as first name equal to many and blah blah blah. Another method I have shown you, we can create object as a new object, and then I can add the properties to that one equal to, and I can do console.log of obj and console.log of obj2. Let's see this one. So we have object first name many and second also first name many. So we created two objects, and we can see both the object here. Now there is one more way to create the object, and we'll see that method now. I can write this function. For example, my function name is x, and it takes some parameter a, b. And here if I do console.log of this, and let's say if I put something like this dot a is equal to a, this dot b equal to b, and now if I call x of 1 comma 2, so what do you think, what will be the this will consist of? What is the this means? Window object. So now if I run this one, if I refresh, so you will see this is the object 1 and object 2 which was previously there, but this is consists of the window object because this is in the global space and we are getting window object. And if this dot a is equal to 1, this will become 1, and this dot b will become 2. So if you see in the global object, a is equal to 1 and b is equal to 2, because when I say this dot a, it is nothing but the global this is the global. So a will become the global variable and b will also become the global variable. And these two are nothing tied to this function x. These are the global variables. Now this is the normal function which we have built. Now we will create an object using this function. So what I will say, var y equal to new x. So I am calling this function but with the keyword new. When I call this something with a new, when I call something some function with the new keyword, then it will become an object. Now this is not the simple function which we saw previously. Previously we created a function like this. But now I'm not using this function as a function, I'm using this function as an object. So I will make it new. Once it sees the new, it behaves like differently. It behaves like a object. It does not behave like a function which previously it was behaving like it. Now tell me what will be the console.log of this. If I do this, what will be the console log of this? It will be x. It will be x. Though y is there, but this will be this x, because this x is actually an object. So if I refresh this, so it is an x, with the as an object, and it has a equal to 1 and b equal to 2. Though it is assigned to y, but in reality, this x will become object. This x is becoming an object, and we are getting a and b value inside this x object. And so I can also do console.log of y, but then it is something, it is consisting of the x inside it. So ultimately, yeah, it's showing x as 1 and 2. Both are showing actually same thing. But this is actually this one, because we are converting this function to an object. So when I call the new one, it really means it is converting this function to an object. Okay, so this is converting a function to an object, and this object is having a equal to 1 or b equal to 2. So this is how we create another way of creating the object. So one of the way was this one, second way of is this one, third way is this one. Now let's say if I want to, if this function is fixed and I don't want to change, or I cannot change this function, but I want to add some variable or methods inside it, I can use a keyword called as prototype. So if I say x dot prototype, and let's say I want to add one more variable c equal to many, then I will do like this. And now if I refresh, okay, one second, x dot prototype dot c equal to many. I want to show only one. I'm not able to see that c. Why I am not able to see the, okay, give me 1 second. Okay, so prototype, maybe we'll take this some other time, because I have to see why it's not showing it. Okay, let me do this one. Okay, right now I don't want to put the time on the prototype. We'll take the prototype as a separate topic, separate subject on Monday, next Monday. So just I want to show you today that we can create the object in 3 ways. This is the first way, this is the second way, and this is the third way. So either of these 3 ways we can use in our coding to make it work. Now, second thing which we will do today is, so let's say if I have, let me do in the console.log. Okay, let's say if I have variable called as var a equal to 3. Var a equal to 3. So if I type a, it is showing 3 value. Now let's say if I create another variable called as b equal to a. Now, what is the value of b? B will be 3. Now if I change a to 2, b will remain same 3, and a will remain 2 because I changed a to 2. So this is about the variable which we know every time we do this one, that we can assign the different variable to first one. Now if I do same thing by calling a variable c equal to an object, I create an object and I will say greeting equal to hi, If I create a variable C with a greeting hi, if I say C, it's saying greeting hi. And if I create another variable called as D and assign it to C, and if I say the D variable, it says greeting hi because D is the copy of C. Now, if I change the greeting of C, for example, C dot greeting is equal to hello, what will be the greeting of D? So if I type D, what will be the greeting of D? Okay, one is saying hello, another is saying hi. Okay, second one is saying hello. So if I press enter, the greeting of D becomes the hello and not the hi. Now, why is this so? We will try to understand what is the logic behind it, or what is the JavaScript meaning behind it, and how it changes it. So when we saw A equal to B, when we created var A equal to 3 and we assigned B equal to A, and then I said A equal to A equal to 2, then I'm typing A or B, it is different. So when we have some value, direct number or a string or boolean, anything variable which is not an object, then it when I copy something, it creates a new copy of it, and when I change the first one, it does not change the second one. So it changes only its copy. So this is the normal behavior of the variables. When we have some variable which is not object, and I copy it to another object, second variable is different from the first one. So when I change first one, second one remain as it is. But when I create an object, and then I copy that object to another variable, it does not copy by value. It copies by reference. So when a C is created in the memory, I create a D and I assign C, then the D does not create a separate location of the memory. It only refers to where C is present in the memory. So whenever I change in the C, it really actually changes anywhere which is copied to another variable. So for example, if I change to D or if I change to C, it changes only at one location in the memory, and that is why both the variables get the same value whenever we change one. So this is called by the value by reference, or passing by reference and passing by value. Here we are passing by value because value is changed. Here we have the passing of by reference because we are referring to the memory location, not the value. So when we are assigning it C to D, that means D has the refer of the C variable in the memory, and whenever we change D or C, whenever we change the object D and C, it actually changes the value in both the places. So I will give one more. I will ask one more example. So if I have var x equal to object, maybe I can say name equal to many, and I create another variable y equal to x. If I type y, it is same as x. Now if I say var y dot name is equal to, y dot name is equal to Tony, and y has become Tony, x has become Tony, both have become Tony. Now what I will do, I will say y is equal to, I will say something like this, an object with a name equal to Dia. What will be the x value now? One is saying Zia, another saying Zia, third one is saying Zia. Okay, if I enter x, it is Tony only. Now why this happens? Because already x was changed to Tony. Now I change y to something, another object, then x does not changes it. The reason for this is that when I use y dot name, I am actually manipulating the property inside that object. I am manipulating the property inside that object, and that's the reason both the places got the same name equal to Tony. But when I say y equal to some different object, or y, if I am saying y equal to some different variable, or y equal to 3, then I'm not changing really the property inside the object, I'm changing the whole memory location. So now when I say y is equal to an object, then it is now creating a new memory reference in the memory, new reference in the memory, which is not related to x. So it breaks the chain of the x. So when I say y equal to something, then it is assigning a new value in it. It is not the same which we saw here. So to summarize the thing, I will explain one more example with this. So for example, if I have var, yes, after that y is not equal to x, both are different variables, both have different location in the memory, and they both refer to different values. So for example, I will say m equal to object age equal to 43, and if I create another variable n equal to m, now n is same, m is same. Now if I want to change the age, I can say m dot age equal to 44, then both will change to 44. But if I say m is equal to some different object, m equal to some empty object, then n is 44, m is empty object. Because whenever I use the equal sign with the m, it creates a new location in the memory that is different from the n. And whenever I change the property inside it, then it changes in the both the objects. Both are tied, because initially both are tied because I copied it, and so both have same properties, and if I change property of one, another one also change. But if I call like this, then it is exactly different location and it does not tie it with the n. So this is something you have to remember when you do the manipulation on the object. Let's see what else I can show you today. Okay, now one more thing which I want to show you today is generally if you people have done the React part, then you have seen, if you have done React and Reducer, then there is something which we do. We create a state variable in the reducer, Redux, in the Redux. If you've done React and Redux, Redux is nothing but reducer. So we create the state and we assign it like this, dot 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 state, and then I change the variable, for example, name equal to action dot payload. This is the normal behavior in the React and Redux. Now what this part does, this is the ES6 version of the JavaScript. So if I do like state, if I say state dot name equal to action dot payload, that means what I am doing, I am manipulating the state object, and wherever the state will be there, it will be updated. It will change the name to this property because we are changing the object property, and the copy at all the places will be changed. So to avoid that, if we want to create a new variable from the previous variable, so I can use state equal to dot 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 state. When I use this statement, that means this state is created a new variable which will take all the previous values of the variable. So previously, let's say state has name, so that name will be assigned to this new variable. If I change only state dot name, that means what we are doing, we are changing the object property, and based on the reference, it will change everywhere. But if we don't want to change by reference, if we want the new copy, so I will say state equal to, first I will say dot 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 state. Dot 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 state means it takes the old values of the state and it will assign it to the state. So now this state will be the new variable, new values, and it does not have the old values in it. And then I can edit it. After that, I can put the comma and I can edit with the different key value pairs. Right now it will give error because we don't have the state. So initially we take the old value and we will assign it to the state one. So this state is the new variable with the old values, and then we update the values with the new key value pairs. So if we have done React and Reducer, this is the common thing which we do it many times. Okay, now one more thing which I want to show you today. If I create a variable for a equal to, for example, name many, and I create another variable b equal to name many. Now if I do like this, a equal to b, let's see first what is there in a. A is name equal to many, b is equal to name is equal to many. Now if I do a equal to b, what will it come? Whether it will come true or false. Both are same values. Okay, so the result will come false. Okay, and if I do a equal to b, then also it will come false. Then also it will come false, because these two are different objects, though they have same values, but they are really different object, and in the computer they don't, this computer cannot seem to be the same thing, because object goes by the reference, not the value. So since I have created these two as a separate variable, that means their memory location in the computer is different, so they are never same. So always we will get false. Now if I do same thing like this, var x equal to name any, and if I do var y equal to x, y is same as x. Now if I do x equal to y, it will come true because the memory location of both is same. So generally when we do equal to y, it's checking the memory location, not the value. So even if these two are having same values, they are not exactly same and it gives false. But since these two have same memory location, and if I do x equal to y, it is giving me true. So for object, this is the true case, but for the primitive values like a equal to 3 and b equal to 2 or b equal to 3, and if you compare these two, you will get the true result. But when we have object, it should be the copy of that object, then only it will be same, otherwise it will not be same. Is that clear? Okay, now I will ask you something about bind call and what you call as apply. So first question, which is like this: of all these three methods, what is the purpose? Is purpose same or is purpose different of apply, bind and call? Is the purpose of bind, apply, call is same, or is the purpose of bind, call and apply different? Same, because all three tries to get an object and put it inside the function to use that object inside that function. So this is the first question. Second question: whether bind will invoke the function or apply will invoke the function or call will invoke the function immediately. So which one will invoke? Bind, whether bind will invoke or it will only save it in the variable, or apply will invoke or it will save in the variable. Call will invoke or call will save in the variable. So tell me one by one. Bind, call and apply what? Call and apply. Sindhu put call and apply. So invoke immediately, right? So apply and call will invoke immediately. Bind will not invoke, it will only assign to the variable. Okay, next question. What is difference in apply and call when we pass variables? So what is the difference in apply and call when we pass variables? Apply takes array and call takes individual arguments. So call and bind are similar. Bind is also taking arguments, individual arguments. Call is also taking individual arguments. So call and bind are similar in this respect. But apply is the only one which takes the array as a argument. Okay, let me see if I have another question for this one. Okay, so that's it for the round. I refreshed the call, bind and apply, which I did on that day. Today prototype, I started prototype, but it was not coming as expected. So I will take this prototype again on Monday, and then I will also start the data structures on Monday. So one of the data structures which we will start on Monday is stacks. After that we will take queue, and after that I will take linked list. So we will first master these three data structures, because these three data structures are 90% of interview you will get these three data structures. And other data structures which we have, like trees or hash table and other whatever we see the data structure, those are, those cover 10% of the interview questions, because most of the people they ask from the stack queue and linked list. So first we will try to master these three things. We'll try to thoroughly understand how these three things are done in different examples, and then we'll start with the other data structures like trees, graphs, hash, and other data structures. So we will start with the prototype I will do, and I will also start the data structure, because prototype is 5 minutes kind of thing, and then I will start with the data structures on Monday. Thank you.